how does an object become an object of pleasure or pain?
The Buddha discovered this 2500 years ago. The Buddha said the outside object is not what you see, because you see with the eye only an inverted image. Do we see any inverted images? Yes or no?
No.
We don't see any inverted images. We see only upright images. The upright image is in the mind, in the brain. We might call it, according to science, that consciousness that is taking that message of the outside object, only the color and the shape. Maybe I am seeing you, Johanny. What I see you is only the color and shape, and that also an inverted image with the eye.
Yes.
But this inverted image is transmitted along the Chakku Vijnana, that is the eye consciousness, to the brain. And there it is made upright and also recognized, and also because there is memory in the brain. I have seen Sohani before, so I know this color and shape is Sohani because my brain has a memory power. So with my memory, I recognize an upright image. Now I want to ask you a question. Do you see with the eye or do you see with the brain, the mind?
The mind.
The mind. Because if you see with the eye, you should be seeing an inverted image. But you see an upright image, and then not only do you see, the Buddha understood there are the five aggregates that form immediately along with the image. The image is recognized. Then there is, supposing I see you, Swami, then I have memory, and therefore I see, I recognize you, and that also is in the memory, in the mind. Then I have feeling, because I like you, so I have a good feeling, and this recognition is sanya. This color and shape is Swami. That's how I understand you. I recognize you. So there is the outside objective view, the internal image is this upright image of color and shape. Then the rupa, then the vedana is the good feeling I get because I like you. And sanya is that I understand, I recognize the good feeling, I recognize the color and shape as you. So now how many aggregates have fallen in the mind? There is the image, feeling, that is rupa, vedana. Sanya is the sign or the recognition or the perception. Then immediately I have tanha for you because I like you. Because the brain doesn't know anything good or bad, so good feelings give rise to tanha. Because there is no time, it is work at the speed of light. Just as the light is falling in the retina, it is conducted to the brain, and at that speed, the five aggregates arise. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya is the recognition, Sankara is how I react to that feeling, to that sign. Now, because it is Sohani, I react with happiness, and it can be attachment, can be tanha. So now here I am creating tanha for Sohani. And then all this is done by Vijnana, the Chakku Vijnana, that is the eye consciousness, and Mano Vijnana, the mind consciousness. Now all these consciousnesses are responsible for me to recognize you. That is the rupa, your color and shape. There's the feeling, good feeling. There's the sign, good sign, because I like you. And there is tanha, because that is my reaction automatic. And sankara, that is para. And vijnana is this chakku vijnana, or consciousness, and eye consciousness, or mano vijnana, the mind consciousness. Now we have already got 5 aggregates. They are not one. Each rupa is 1,000,000 images imposed one on top of the other, superimposed. Each Vedana is 1,000,000 Vedana, one on top of the other. Because they are so fast, you see it as an aggregate, you don't see it. Then there is Sangha, also maybe millions of Sangha that fall one on top of the other. And then you see aggregate of Sangha. Then each time the tanha arises, and it's an aggregate of tanha, that is sankara. And that also is vijnana caused by chakku vijnana and mano vijnana. This is what the Buddha said 2,500 years ago, and scientists will realize that today that this is the absolute truth. Now I want to ask you a question. Do you see with the eye or do you see with the mind?
We see with the mind, Bhikkhuni.
Yeah, you see an upright image with the mind. But do I have tanha for that image or for Sohani?
For Sohani.
How is that? I never even saw Sohani. I saw only an image. But I have fallen in love with Sohani. Now that is something that the Buddha saw, and the Buddha said, this is very funny, this vijnana gives you such a wrong misconception, such a wrong feeling, that what you see is the internal image, but you fall in love with the outside object which you haven't even seen. Now what has happened? So tanha has arisen for that external image, your object, and not for the internal image. Now, isn't that what the Buddha said 2,500 years ago? And that is the moha, the avidya, the unscientific way of recognizing the outside object. So now that object outside, that is Sohani maybe, has become an object of pleasure for me because I like her. And therefore, if it was not Sohani, if it was some, maybe a snake or some centipede or something, then it would have been a different reaction because I don't as soon as I get the image of the centipede, then I recognize it because I have seen a centipede before. Then I don't get a good feeling. I get fear and detest. So I get angry about it. So my feeling is bad. Then my recognition is also not happy. I don't want to see a centipede. And it is inside the house maybe. So I reject it. Now that no more tanha for centipede, but I have anger and hatred for that. So now the outside object is the centipede, but the image is the thing that makes me recognize the centipede, see it upright. I only can, I see not an inverted image, but an upright image. And then I see the centipede. And then I don't have any love for him. So I have seen it before, so I understand what that color and shape is. And I recognize it, and that is the tanha. So all five aggregates arise at that moment. Then I'm angry and I'm unhappy and I reject it. And then anger arises. Now these are the outside objects and these are the reactions in the mind. Now, isn't that what the Buddha said? Moha or avidya. And the Buddha said, if a person has a pot of paint and he has a brush and he wants to paint pictures in the air, in the sky, he can't do it. He will only get tired and frustrated. But this vijnana can paint a picture in the mind and it can make an upright image and it can give you pleasure or pain. So five aggregates are formed all at the speed of light. So you see the image. If it is good, pleasant, you have tanha. If the image is not good and you get a bad feeling and you recognize it and then you get angry and you reject it. Then anger arises. So now we are making karma both times. For Swahani I am making tanha. For the centipede I am making anger. That is the basic nature of the mind, because the mind doesn't know good or bad. Lobha, dvesa, moha are the roots of akusala. Alobha, advesa, amoha are the roots of kusala. So, if I have panya, I will raise metta for Swahani and not tanha. And if I have metta, then I will raise not anger and hatred, but maybe equanimity or a feeling, not anger, not fear. So I will allow that centipede to go away without killing him or hurting him. So it is metta that governs the show for all beings, all human beings who have not yet become enlightened. Metta can make a big difference in their the way they respond to the outside. So if there is metta, I will have non-greed for Swahani. If I have metta, I will have non-hate for the centipede. I will let him go, and I will let off Sohani without getting tanha for her. So these things happen because we are having ignorance of the outside object, and you take it for granted that the outside object is the same as the internal image. And what the consciousness does is they make it appear to be the same. So when Sohani speaks and I hear her sound, I recognize her sound. Same thing. Then the Sota Vijnana is connecting and then giving me the illusion that it is this, not the internal sound, but it is the sound emitted by Sohani, a sound which I never recognized because the ear cannot recognize sound, ear can only hear. The nose cannot recognize smell, but it transmits by the nose consciousness to the brain. And there the brain understands what the smell is. And now if Sohani gives me some food and I eat it, then the taste is not found in the tongue, but it is found in the mind. Yeah, the tongue consciousness carries it to the mind and tells me, this is Sohani's taste. Sohani has given me this. So we are all the time seeing, not with the sensory system, not with the eye and ear and nose and tongue and body, but we are all the time connected with the mind that is taking all these impulses along consciousness. Suppose you are unconscious and Sohani is there. Say, I am unconscious. Sohani is there. Do I see her? Do I hear her? Do I smell her or taste or anything? Do I see the centipede if I had no consciousness? No. So it is consciousness that carries this image to the mind and creates the 5 Pancha Upadana Skandha. They are skandha because they are aggregate. They are not individual things, but one on top of the other, quite an aggregate. So therefore, when I see Sohani, I might get tanha, but if I have wisdom, I might have metta. So if I see the centipede, I might have anger, or if I have wisdom, I will feel sorry for that and I'll let it go. Okay, is that enough for now?